receive you here in my presentation. And thank you for Fundação Rui Cunha for allowing this possibility. My name is Jorge Veiga Alves. You can interrupt anytime if you have questions on any picture. Don't wait until the end, because otherwise it's not nice. So I work. I have a degree in economics. I work for the Central Bank of Portugal for almost all my life, and for a certain period of time, I was working here with the Monetary Authority on a seconded basis. So it was 8 years that I lived and stayed here. In terms of photography, well, I started as an amateur in the 70s, and then I made some submarine photography, and then I enter in digital mode, and it's my paradise. I like it very much. Some pictures of Macau are present in some sites, like the Macau Memory from the Macau Foundation and the Centro Científico e Cultural de Macau in Portugal. I start this project calling Searching for Macau when I realized that I have hundreds of pictures and movies made in Macau, some of them in different periods, and I said to myself, well, it's time to digitalize all of these, and probably not just to keep with me, because besides any artistic value, they have documental value, and probably I should share this. So after digitalizing all of these photographs and videos, by the way, some of the photographies were made in the 80s and 90s when I digitalized. Well, I found the sky that is green already because the colors change with the time. So some of these pictures requires around 2 hours of work in order to correct it and to make the right colors again, and to take, well, some of these are required a lot of work. Then after finishing this digitalization, I find that probably I should share. So I knock the doors to different institutions, either to allow in digital form to be shared with their files under certain conditions, either to print and offer. So in case of Macau, there are pictures in the Macau Memory from the Macau Foundation. So they have a database, and they ask me some pictures, and then I offered some printed pictures to Macau Archive and the Macau Museum of Art. In Portugal, I made the same in terms of digital form with Centro Científico e Cultural de Macau. It's a center that studies and have a library about Macau. So I work here, as I said, in 86, 94. I revisit Macau in 2005 and 16, and here I am again. So I put to myself this question: what's special about Macau to come again, and what is, in a way, what is Macau for me? So that's the questions that I'm trying always to answer myself. In 80s, late 80s, early 90s, so my eyes to see Macau was with 3 angles. First, it was a Portuguese that was curious about the Chinese culture. Of course, the Portuguese marks in Macau. That is a question that all Portuguese put to themselves. And are there any interaction between these two communities? And the final question is for this interaction, there is any elements in common in the two communities that besides the history that stands. So this was Macau when probably I stand up now. This was Macau when I arrived. So I was lucky. I arrived in 86. And I was lucky to get a little bit still of the old Macau, And of course, later on you will see the picture, of course, buildings, new buildings and new construction and development going on, very, very important development. But when I read today books about old Macau, the old traditions, the old Chinese traditions, I was lucky that I can make the bridge mentally to what I saw in 80s, at the end of 80s, so I was still having the possibility to see a little bit of old Macau. So in my mind, I can make the bridge to what I now can read about the books about old Macau. So this picture, in a way, translates that bridge. This was the lineup of the city when we arrived at that time with the jet fuel, so it was more or less the skyline of the city. And this was again from Macau side, Taipa side. And this was taken in 86, almost after I arrived, from Kolowan Island, that is Taipa Island, and then Macau. I think it was on the same day I shoot on the other side, so this is what is now Enkin, I believe, Engine, which is completely different to what we see now. Even comparing to 2016 to now, that was the area that I saw most of the differences was between these two and this part of land. And on the same day it was a sunset. This was taken from Taipa, from Kolowan, I'm sorry, to Taipa. There was still some fishing nets over there. I don't know how much fish he was getting that day, but at least they were trying. And this was the small Cao Bay that, in a way, I still like always to come back to this place, because it was, for me as a Portuguese, this was more likely a beach view either than Kolowan and Chokvan side. It was more or less likely to a beach in Portugal at that time for me. And this place is a very special place for me. This is Taipa Pier, so I have a lot of memories. Always that I come here, I rush to see the place again. Of course, now it's completely different. It's elevated. The land is elevated because of the road. And there are stories, curious stories about this, because I start putting some pictures in Facebook and Instagram, and then people interact with me, recognizing the place or recognizing the person or whatever. And I was contacted by a young man of Macau asking me, where is this garden? And I have difficult to explain him where is this garden now. Well, and then someone helped me to give the location of the place. But I like it very much, this garden. I always, it's pleasant for me to go to the place and see the place in a nice shape, better than at this time. It's a very nice place now. And this is a small Kuniyam temple that on the top is the, wait. On the top here is the university, and this was still a fishing net here. That was in 87. And as I said, so in 87 it was not just small houses, it was already some buildings and some construction on the other side. But I mean, comparing to what is today, it's amazing. This was one of the pictures that I have most difficulties to readjust the colors and the sky, and well, I spend a lot of time, a lot of versions with this, trying to recover as much as possible as it was, because I have the paper picture as well, so I can compare the negative with the paper picture. And in this one I composed two, as much as possible, to have a broader view, with the green island over there still And a lot, this was on the Chinese New Year, so a lot of fishing boats standing there and here. And this is the inner area, which I'm pleased that in some buildings they reshape the building, but they maintain this part of the architecture that it was very nice. This one, for instance, I scanned the negative and the paper, and I tried to see which one is better, because the negative has more resolution. The paper, because the paper picture is this one, so I get the right colors, but not the right resolution. But so this one, it was from the negative. And some of the buildings, I understand with the humidity of Macau, is difficult to maintain the buildings. It's very expensive, but now, fortunately, it's in a better shape than at this time. And this was the Chinese New Year in 88. And this was my paradise, still is, walking on these streets, on these small streets with the shops, and taking pictures of the small shops and the people. And I was contacted by the Facebook by a relative of this, saying if one contact me in one case, I don't remember it was exactly this one or not, but one contact me if that this shop, it was from this grandfather or so. So if I don't have another picture a little bit more at the left, just and I was having a gentle person from some years ago that was sending me pictures of the present location of the streets and what were the difference. They were sending me that comparison. Well, the business, I'm still trying now to walk near the seaside to take pictures, but of course most of these disappeared now. Even these disappear in Portugal now. Everything is in plastic, so. And the logos of the association, I always find the graphic element of the Chinese written. It's very, very nice. So I always like to photograph this. And this was the north border, so the Canal dos Patos, as we call it in Portuguese, at that time. It was in '91, but it was still like this form. And Coloane, so still look like this fishing village. And this is Aksa Beach in '87, so this was taken from the top. So when I went in 2016, I take another picture, and the colors are different because of the different days. As you can see, the difference of construction and the environment here, and here it's amazing. I tried to go to the same place now, but it was impossible because everything is covered by the trees. So I was not able to take one single picture of this now. Fortunately, in this case, it's a fortunate event because. So about the curiosity about the Chinese culture, this is an example. So it was a gentleman writing his wishes for a tile in Cunham village at Coloane. They told me that when from time to time they put that on a roof with the prey, whatever is the meaning. So this is And the temples for me are magic, of course, because our temples are very different. So there are the tendency to go and to see that difference. But for me, of course, the Portuguese church is mostly in the Chinese temples because most of them are very old. I feel that I'm connecting in that place is a place to connect different generations. So they are almost the same, I believe. So it's a place where you can feel what will happen in the previous generation. They were in the same place, so it's a bridge between generations for me. Yeah, and they are always a magic. Of course, in this case, there is even the factor of light, so that creates a different atmosphere. Today, I mean, now what didn't happen in 2016? Everyone wants to take pictures. The lady of this temple was not allowing me to now to take pictures. No, it's not forbidden. I just sneak one or two, but another temple. Li Feng Temple with not only one place, but the complex. I like it very much. The Abba Temple, the Kolwan complex over there, I like it. And the letters, as I mentioned, and so the graphic elements I like it very much. I have to be told, because I still don't know what are the difference when I see the description of temple. I see these two descriptions. I don't know what are the difference between one or the other. Someday someone will have to tell me what are the difference. I have a story about this Shoklamshi temple. I was putting this on Facebook, and I was contacted by one daughter of Silva Mendes, which was a person that lived here in Macau. It was the director of the high school, and he wrote some chronicles about Macau. He was very knowledgeable about Macau, about Chinese culture and about Chinese art. He was collecting Chinese art. Part of his collection was now part of Macau Museum, and he was telling me that his grandfather was writing, because he knew the head of this temple. So he was writing some, and he sent me the chronicles about that temple. So again, this temple make the bridges of generation. That's why I like it very much. On the other day, I was trying to reach the temple, and one Chinese guy said, "Well, it's a small temple," which is not small. It's a very nice one and relatively big, but. Linkain temple, which allow us to have this contrast of light and, with the smoke. I mean, it always creates this kind of environment. This one friend from that was born here, and then it's living in Germany. So he asked me this picture to be part of an exhibition that he was doing as a kind of a memory of Macau. So he asked me this picture too. So this one was in a black and white version, was in Germany in an exhibition. And the Ama temple, I by the purpose, I could or cut it, or with internet artificial intelligence. Now we can take this off. But in this case, I maintain it because it shows the place. I mean, shows the environment and the situation of the place. It is not so nice in terms of picture, but it shows how it is still now. I mean, if you go there, you can see this. So again, the Ama temple. And this one was made in 2016, and with the two. Fortunately, it's a place that is more or less the same with the Portuguese cobblestones, but again the lighting of the temples allow us for the photographers to take nice pictures. Besides the human element, I mean, one thing that I praise very much when they allow to. It is still the exception. People don't mind, even when they are praying, don't mind to be taking in pictures in Portugal, probably no one will allow you. But that's when of course I don't put inside in front. I mean I put on the side just to not to be too present. This is Puta monastery which now is in renovation, so it's impossible to take pictures now because it's in renovation. Some of the temples, when I was here in 86, 94, of course I didn't went to all temples, but in 2016 I took the map from the tourism department with all temples, and I obliged myself to take pictures of all of the temples. And I discovered places that I didn't discover when I lived here 8 years. So it was a pleasant and a good surprise for me to go to small temples, even a temple in Areia Preta, so in the north. So it was a small temple that was in the map. And then I tried to go there. It was a big building in construction. So I tried to surround it, no way, and then I asked the constructor, where is the temple? And he told me, cancelled, cancelled. So I was not able to photograph that one. And all the religious aspects are related with the prayer. So it's in terms of picture, it's nice. I mean the design. And of course, the stories. When I told to my friends what this means, well, they like very much to know, and the things to burn. And this was the Chinese temples architecture. Of course, it's nice as well. The civil architecture, like representative of the Mandarin House. A different environment. Of course, I was told, I was reading that there are some Western elements in these houses as well, and the people. So that was one of the things that I like very much is to go around, and this gentleman provided me a very nice smile when I was taking pictures of him. I don't know if he's still working. I was trying to find out on the other day, but I was not able to see the same. This one is in Almirante Lacerda. It's a small temple. So I put this in a Facebook, and I was contacted by the cousin, calling attention to the cousin. You are in a picture. So, and things that all mothers do in all parts of the world, taking care of the kid, with another one on the back. The fishing activities, which now I'm finding that there are less and less and more difficult to take pictures because a lot of areas are restricted to the public, or they don't exist anymore. So I was able now to take some picture of this area, but very few places, and they already know me probably. Colovan Island. In this one, fortunately, there is no smell here because it smells bad, but I was brave enough to stay some time to take some pictures of this, because this fish is very oily, so it's... And this was one in 87, they were cleaning the shrimps. This one, it was recognized in a small contest that I went, and so I received a small recognition. And I was able, fortunately enough, to see the end of the shipyards. And this was in Macau. I went there one or twice to take pictures. After some years, they disappeared here. They were moved to Colovan, but I was able still to make some pictures of these activities. And this one, I was contacted again by the Facebook of a relative of this. So I think it was his uncle who was having the shipyard near here. So they were. He was living now in New Zealand, so he sent me a hello that he's doing now small boats for his own fun. So it's curious. I mean, well. This was Lamau area. At that time, it was already a lot of construction on the back, so this was more or less at the end of the day. This was in Taipa. This area is not in water anymore because everything is covered by land now. So what was here, it is not water anymore. Laichivun shipyards. On the other day, I was there to try to figure out where I took this picture and which one was these shipyards, and they are trying to make some. I visited what is they are building now, and the construction. This was exactly in front of my house. It was a nightmare with the noise, boom, boom. But I was able to take pictures just in front of the house. And the small shops. I mean, these ones was very nice to see. It was difficult for me to interact. It's a pity, but if I could make an entry and then to speak and then to take more picture, it will be better. But well. That was. I believe that some of the pictures that I even took in 2005 and 2016 of some shops, they already disappeared. So some of these pictures were collected by the Macau memory database. They are collecting pictures, and they received the UNESCO prize. Because of that, they are collecting memory about Macau, which a very nice work that they are doing. On the other day, I was still able to see rice on a pot to be sold by the kilos, which in Portugal now it's impossible. But I still was able to do that. I didn't take picture, but it was still possible to see that. Drying fish activities, and this translation in Portuguese for me it's wonderful. Wait, made something wrong. No. Foi aqui ou foi? Foi assim? Okay. I always think that if it is possible to enter in a time machine to fly back in '87 on that moment, why didn't I take a picture a little bit on the left? But it's impossible to do that. This one it's possible. See, the shop is still there, and this one is still there. So I took pictures of these still there. As you can see here, it was at that time when I was here in 1987. The woman carried the babies on the back. One of the reasons probably it's because sometimes they have to work. At least in Portugal it was that reason. So they have to carry the babies on the back because most of the times they have to work. So, but now fortunately people carry the babies on the front. So it's a dated picture. One curious thing for me when I arrived is this. It was that you can have almost any business using the street space. So the shop is very small. So at the end of the day, they close it here with the tools, but they use the public space. So and two activities. I was still able to make a picture of one guy that is cleaning and you still can have this, but not in this place. But fortunately, still have. and the man with the rice puppets. I'm collecting pictures of this in the internet of this same person on a different ages. So I open a file in my computer and I have pictures. This one was made by me. So I believe it was the last one to make this. There is no more. This I'm passing here, and the place is still there, but I don't know if it is operating with a symbol, with a sign there. The lady is brodering. And the activities of eating, that is one very attached to the Cantonese people, that is eating all the time and taking pictures of the eating and what they are eating and what. Again, I was contacted by a relative of this shop saying that it was closed at a certain time. I don't remember which date. So, and what was the exact location, because I didn't remember what was the exact location. So I was contacted by a relative. Colovan, more or less the same. The moment that I catch, and I will never, there are some moments on this picture that I will, as long as I live, I will never forget. So there are some moments, the location and the lightning and the persons. This one is, when I remember Macau, that is one of the, I always remember this one. And again, well, this lady was doing his work with the paper, religious paper. He didn't bother me that I took pictures, so I was completely able to stand by him, by her, and take pictures. And what is nice makes a day for the photographer if you catch a smile like this. It makes your day. I believe is already closed. This market it will be the change. When I was living here, on weekends I was traveling to Colovan, and then we used the visit to buy vegetables. And I was living here with my wife and my mother, and we come here, and I like very much to eat carrots, raw carrots. So on the market, I was cutting that, and the ladies were laughing, and even sometimes they offer to wash the carrot. So that was until I was here until '94. When I come back in 2005, 11 years after, I made the same, and the lady recognized me by the moment I was doing the same. So she recognized me after 11 years, and he was smiling, remembering this is the guy, the crazy guy that is going to the market. And that's another element that I like very much. It's the on lion dancing, and so that it's not only the scenic aspect, probably the religious aspect, shall I say, but the fun aspect. I mean, there are the two elements involved. Wait. He's saying that I should shut up. That's that. Chinese arts, and so Chinese. Still Liao Snad over there in '93. All those activities. This is the area that is completely different now. The skyline is completely different now. So it was in Chinese New Year, so a lot of fishing boats. And the life events, in this case, it's some friends of mine that allow me to enter the marriage. Of course, for me, it was it was nice to see the different dresses, the different. So the corruption was not in this case. It was for us this is associated to corruption, but in this case it's not. So it was a pleasant moment and associated with that. The same couple now. I took some picture of them now, or in this case in a party. And this is a picture that I like very much because in this picture it's concentrated a lot of knowledge, of centuries of knowledge, not in this case not centuries of the lady, but it's very old. But everything that is here, it requires a lot of knowledge together between generations to accumulate that. So for me, the title of this picture is Wisdom. The games. Sometimes there are scenic elements. In this case, you have different lines of force as a photographer looking to the table. So these allow us to, as photographers, to take special. So the person involved in this, there are one person involved that asked me to use this picture because he's doing the book of the family about the pawn shops, and asked me to use this picture. The Cantonese opera. I don't understand the word, but even the lion dance, the Cantonese opera, it's becoming to happen the same to me that as when I hear fado, for instance, that I get emotional. When I hear Cantonese opera or drums, I get the same feeling. I don't know, so it's already part of me. So and I see people offering themselves to us these activities, spending a lot of their hours. So it's genuine. I like it very much. In this case, they were rehearsing in maintaining these activities. The gardens, the beautiful gardens. In this case, the Loliok Garden, the Tai Chi. This is the Loliok in '88. Unfortunately, that very nice bad, not nice buildings on the back, but now it's this monster on the back. So here are the two views of the same, more or less the same. And this is another place. In this case, it's a cemetery. It's not a nice place to go, but it's a place that I always go because it involves the silence of the graveyards and the view. And it's a place that I like very much to go. And this was a funeral that I was able to take a picture on a distance. And this is the new Macau. In this case, it is in 2016. But I went to the tower now, and in this area there are not much differences. So I didn't put picture of 2000 and now because there are not so many differences. And this is the modern Macau. And the Portuguese marks. When I say Portuguese marks, some of them, in the case of the buildings, doesn't mean that is strictly Portuguese. Some of them are other Western influences, but it's a nice mixture that we have in Macau. That is this combination of styles and buildings. And this is my favorite church. It is San Lorenzo Church. Is the one that I find very nice. And this cemetery, for instance, was used by a Portuguese historian, writer. He was making his degree about this cemetery, about the different elements that are in this cemetery, the Chinese element, the Portuguese elements, and other communities. So those nice buildings that and the Portuguese cobble street. And this one is curious because it's a symbol of the monarchy. It's in Taipa, so it's in a Taipa garden. There are not many places in Portugal where you still can find a symbol dated from the monarchy phase. So this one, it's from the monarchy. It's still there. And of course, the interaction of the two communities, in this case, is in the two buildings. In this case, between the folklore and an old building. And of course, the Macanese community, that is the highest probably of the connection of the two communities, and namely the cuisine. Of course, it's not only Portuguese and Chinese. I know that there are other differences from Malaysia, from India, but again, it's a miracle. In this sunset, you can see this lady with the Chinese appearances. The name of the streets, the name of the name of the streets and the symbols of the shops. I took this picture in 2016. The guy was having a very nice smile. So I went to a laboratory and I printed the picture on the other day. And I was offering him the picture, and he offered me again the same smile. He was not working there anymore, so I went there, and he's not working anymore. But this lady is still there, so it was in 2016. And I did the same. I took the picture, and I offered her the picture, and he showed me again this nice smile, showing a lady in the front. Oh, that's me. And with my wife. So in this case, there is no need of understanding of the language. The symbols and just the sound tells everything. So and a special attention to the trees of Macau, which are monuments. I believe they are like in the street monuments. The trees are monuments as well. So they make very nice views. Just a small ending. What I find that are the common elements between the two communities in my view. The first one is the capacity to adapt. That is one thing that Portuguese have very much, and the Chinese have very much. This guy was working, but he was having the film to be and sitting comfortable. The capacity to improvise, that is another element that both of us has. So in this street, this guy was drying the fish together with and the capacity to create. It's amazing how someone creates letters that just are there for 1 or 2 minutes and then it disappear. But it's a creation, so he's putting his mind in working. And that is my goodbye. Thank you very much. If you have some questions, please tell me. If not, again, thank you for coming for these moments, and it was a pleasure for me to sharing you with this. I believe they will put this in Facebook, the video.
Okay, I'm going to continue in English. First of all, we have to thank you for this, to registrate Macau, the past Macau, because at least the new generation doesn't have as slightest idea of what was it. And during the 80s, I was in Portugal at that time. No, I came back in 88. So I still have this. I still have this in my mind. But the true fact is, there's a lot of people here doesn't know what Macau really is. Was. So I think you captured at least this years, and it's still nostalgic because nostalgia doesn't have to be like decades before. No, this triggers nostalgia, and I'm sure that many of us here still remembers many things, especially in those pictures that we don't see the new buildings. We see the Praia Grande, we see the Avenida República, and without any other things. I still love this part of the city, and I still have a lot of very good memories when I would stroll with my dad in those parts. But for those who doesn't really know Macau in those areas, I think this exhibition was a very good thing. So
Thank you.
I thank you. I really thank you for that.
Yeah, thank you. When I'm taking pictures now, of course, I cannot go back, so I only can take pictures of Macau now, and I'm trying to say for myself what is Macau. So what I'm trying with today Macau. What is Macau? Is there any hope for Macau with a flood of Mandarin people that are not living here? A lot of people coming from outside, Filipinos. And then on the other day, I went to the Senado. Someone lost the ID, so I gave the Filipino guard that was there. And he asked me, well, Macau, well, we talk a little bit and about what I lived here and so about that. And he was saying to me that I like very much Macau, better than Hong Kong. Macau is a simple place. It's a nice place to live. So in this case, it's a Filipino guy that is already feeling attached to Macau. So it's not only Portuguese and Chinese that the Macau will live if there are people attached to the place. And it gives me some hope, because in this case, it's a Filipino guy which is already attached to the place. So that is the hope that Macau will maintain if someone is attached to the place and leaves the place like his own place and not just a Chinese city that comes to be everywhere. That gave me some hope, in this case with the Filipino guy. Okay, thank you very much for coming.